Good morning, students. Student, we have started third chapter of history, that is ruling the countryside, and we have already completed two parts, and this would be the third part of this chapter. In the previous video lecture, we have seen that British government they want to improve in the agriculture. That's why they started two settlement, that is permanent settlement and you can say Mahalwari settlement. We have discussed these two settlements. From today video lecture, we will start another system which were introduced by the Britishers, and it was known as the Monroe system. So let's see about the feature of this Monroe system. First of all, this Monroe system, it was also known as a Ryotwari system. Okay, students. So you have 1 marks question here that what was the another name of Monroe system? That is Ryotwari system. Now, student, if we think about this system it was started in the southern part of India, because Mahalwari system it was started in the northern part of India. So Ryotwari system it was introduced by the Britishers in the southern part of India, because they felt that permanent settlement method it was beneficial, just only not properly, means iska jo benefit tha, it was not enough. So that's why they wanted to start another system, so that the agriculture system can be improved. So in this way, Thomas Monroe, the Governor General of Madras in 1819 to 1826, he developed a new method of revenue system that is called Ryotwari system, and it is also famously known that a Monroe system. Right, friends? According to this system, about this system, it was actually based on the methods which was applied by the Captain Alexander Red on a small scale in some areas which were won over by the company after defeating Tipu Sultan. Means जो थॉमस मुनरो था उसने इस सिस्टम को किसके आधार पर चलाया? कैप्टन अलेक्जेंडर जो रेड था उसने क्या किया, उसने जो टीपू सुल्तान से जीते हुए एरिया थे उनके ऊपर ये सिस्टम चलाया था और वहां पर ये थोड़ा सक्सेसफुल हुआ था. So that's why this system it was introduced in the southern part of India. Right, friends? Now, student, here Ryot means it means they are cultivators. It means they are farmers. तो यहाँ पर जो Ryotwari system के अंदर जो mean था Ryot, it means farmers and you can say cultivators. So because there was an absence of Jamidar in the south of India, that's why Red and Monroe they both decided to deal all the farmers directly. They wanted to deal Ryot or cultivated directly. Who Ryot means यहाँ पर farmers होगा, because the farmer who were tilling the land from the generations, so they directly deal with that person. जो revenue उनको collect करना है वो directly किससे करेंगे? Cultivator से करेंगे, directly farmer से करेंगे. So that's why this system was started. Right, student? According to this system, this field of Ryot they were carefully measured and assessed. जो Ryotwari system था इसके अंदर सबसे पहले क्या किया, इसके अंदर सबसे पहले जो पूरी की पूरी लैंड जो थी वो कल्टीवेट पूरी की पूरी लैंड को मेजर किया गया एंड उसको असेस किया गया, एंड देन उसके बाद रेवेन्यू जो था इट वाज फाइनल. Even British officials they were also appointed some person who collect the revenue. Means here the British they directly deal with the cultivators. There was no Jamidar, there was no middleman in the system. Right, students? So this was the Ryotwari system. Also, the system is clear to all of you. So dear student, we have studied here three systems: permanent settlement, Mahalwari settlement, and the Ryotwari system. So let's take a look the difference between all these three. If we think about permanent settlement, it was introduced in 1793. On the other hand, if we think about Mahalwari system, it was introduced in 1833. And if we think about Ryotwari system, it was introduced in 1920. Right, students? Second point, if we think about the revenue system, in permanent settlement, this revenue system, it was fixed. It will not be revised further, and it will not be increased even in future also. So revenue, it was fixed in the permanent settlement. But on the other hand, if we think about the Mahalwari system, revenue, it was not fixed. It was not fixed. Estimated revenue of each plot it was added to the total revenue of the village. Means यहाँ पर revenue जो है वो increase भी हो सकता है. Now if we think about the Ryotwari system, in the Ryotwari system, the revenue, it was not also fixed. Each field, it was carefully measured and assessed. Then the revenue, it was fixed. And this revenue, it was directly taken from the cultivators. Right, students? Now, let's think about the third point. Jamidars. Jamidars, they were appointed to collect the revenue. It means here the Jamidar, he was the middleman. But on the other hand, if we think about Mahalwari system, here Jamidar is not there. The revenue, it was collected by the headman of the village. And here village, it means Mahal. Here village, it means Mahal. So, जो Mahalwari system है, इसके अंदर जो जमींदार है, वो इस revenue system के अंदर नहीं था. जो revenue है, it was collected directly by the village headman and it was submitted, it was deposited by the village headman. But on the other hand, if we think about the Ryotwari system, here Britishers, they directly dealt with the cultivators and they collected revenue from them. You can say that, right, students? So this was the collection of the revenue system. Now, if we think about the permanent settlement, this settlement, it was introduced in Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha. It was introduced in Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha. But on the other hand, if we think about Mahalwari system, it was started in the northwestern part of India, like Punjab, in Gangetic Valley, etc. Means जो गंगा region था वहां पर. And Ryotwari system, it was introduced in the, you can say that, southern part of India, that is Madras, Bombay, and Coorg, जो कि कर्नाटका का area है. It was introduced in that particular area. Now, permanent settlement, in permanent settlement, Jamidar, they were considered the owner of the land. But if we think about Mahalwari system, in Mahalwari system, peasants, they were the owner of the land. Peasants, they were the owner of the land. And in the Ryotwari system, here peasants also the owner of the land also. Right, friends? So this is the basic difference among permanent settlement, Mahalwari settlement, and Ryotwari system. आपके पास यहाँ पर चाहे बेसिकली कोई भी क्वेश्चन आ जाए, लाइक डिस्टिंग्विश बिटवीन परमानेंट सेटलमेंट एंड महालवारी सेटलमेंट, या आपके पास ऐसे क्वेश्चन आ सकता है कि डिस्टिंग्विश बिटवीन रियोतवारी सिस्टम एंड महालवारी सिस्टम, रियोतवारी सिस्टम एंड परमानेंट सेटलमेंट. So you, I think so, you don't have any problem in these questions. I hope this slide, it is clear to all of you. So let's continue another fact. Now we have one question that whether everything is going in a very smooth manner. In Britishers, they introduced three systems to improve the agriculture system in India. So we have one question that whether everything was going on in a very smooth manner. So we have one answer here that everything was not well. Why? Well क्यों नहीं था? Let's see this thing. As the desire to increase the income from land, revenue officials fix the revenue rate very high. जैसे उनकी इच्छा क्या थी, इनकम से लैंड इंक्रीज हो, वैसे उनकी इच्छा ये भी थी कि रेवेन्यू भी इंक्रीज हो. So peasants were unable to pay even revenue also. Ryots, they filled the countryside and the villages, they became deserted in many regions. अब जो किसान थे उन्होंने क्या किया, जमीनें छोड़कर, गांव छोड़कर जाना शुरू कर दिया. They started to migrate in another areas. They started to migrate in the urban areas because they were not able to pay the tax. That's why the countryside and the villages, they became deserted in many places. Right, friends? Even some peasants, they were also forcefully evicted from their land also. Means उनको जमीन से निकाल दिया गया कि भाई ये जमीन अब आपकी नहीं रही. They had to left their places and उनको अपना गांव तक भी छोड़कर जाना पड़ा. And sometimes this situation became very conflicting also, and clashes were also happened in many different places also. अलग अलग स्थानों पर इवन झगड़े भी हुए, इवन जो ब्रिटिशर्स थे उनके साथ आपस में conflict क्रिएट हुआ. So if we think about that, everything was going on in a very smooth manner. This was not true because there were many problems which were faced by the peasants, and peasants, they have to left their villages also, and they have to go in different areas for getting their livelihood. Right, students? So that's why situation is not good by introducing these events, and you can see this system also. Right, students? Now let's think about crops for Europe. What does it mean? Question right here. It means that in which crops the European people were interested. It means that it means that the European people were interested only in few crops. What were these crops and why they are, you can say that interested in particular those crops. If we think about the late 18th century, Britishers, they tried to expand the cultivation of the opium and indigo in the various parts of the India. They also forced even the cultivators to grow the different crops, different other crops also. Like if we think about in Bengal, cultivators, they were forced to grow jute. And if we think about Assam, people, and you can see the cultivators, they were forced to grow their tea. In Uttar Pradesh, it was sugarcane. In Punjab, it was wheat. Right, friends? And if we think about the Maharashtra and Punjab, the cotton were also, you can say, increased. And in Madras, rice was, you can say, developed. So, हर जगह पर अलग-अलग जो क्रॉप थी उनको उगाने के ऊपर जोर दिया गया. जोर देने का बेसिक रीजन क्या था? Why Britishers emphasized and you can say put stress on these crops? What were the basic reason? So my dear student, if we think about these crops, maximum these crops are the cash crops. And industrial revolution was there in the Britain. So these were the raw material of the industry of the Britain. So that's why they put stress on these crops. This was the basic reason. Let's take the example of the indigo. On indigo, the Britishers, they put stress on the cultivation of indigo because this is very important for the this is important for their industrial sectors also. So let's take the example of indigo. Why British government put stress on the cultivation of indigo? What was the basic reason of it? Let's think about it. So basically, if you think about indigo, it is a plant from which a blue powder, it is derived. A blue powder, it is derived, and this powder, it is used to dye the clothes of blue color, dye the clothes of the blue color, right? So that's why they always stress to grow more and more indigo. If we think about indigo, it is a plant of the blue powder which create blue powder, and this blue powder, it is used to dye the clothes. So that's why Britishers, they put stress on this clothes. Right, students? Now think about indigo was an word so important. What was the basic reason? My dear student, if we think about indigo, it can only be grown in the tropical climatic condition. So the climate of India, it was totally suitable for its growth also. That's why they put stress on it. The next most important thing, that India was the main exporter of the indigo. And India was the main exporter of the indigo, and in the Europe, in the whole part of the Europe, it was having high demand because it gave a rich blue color to be used for the dyeing of the clothes. That's why the indigo which was produced in India, it had high demand in the European society. Right, students? In Europe, a plant named void, it was cultivated, which was used for dyeing clothes. But the color that it gave was not so much effective and not so much resulting as indigo was there. So that's why indigo demand is very high. Right, students? यूरोप के अंदर भी कल्टीवेट एक पेड़ का कल्टीवेट किया जाता था कपड़ों को रंगने के लिए, पर उसका रिजल्ट इतना इफेक्टिव नहीं था जितना कि इंडिगो का था. That's why the demand of indigo, it was very high in Europe. This was the basic reason. And one more interesting fact is about that void and indigo is that the void cultivators were so worried about the tough competition which they were facing from the indigo that they pressurized their respective governments to ban the import of indigo. This was the interesting fact about indigo. कि जिस एरिया के अंदर वोइड जो पेड़ था उगाया जाता था, उन कल्टीवेटर्स ने अपनी गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर प्रेशर किया कि इंडिगो को बैन कर दो। तो देखिए कि इंडिगो कितना इंपॉर्टेंट था। एंड नॉट इवन ओनली दिस, English also, but the French in the Caribbean island, the Portuguese in Brazil, and the Spanish in the Venezuela, they started to cultivating indigo plant also. While the demand for indigo, it was increasing, but its supply fell half between 1783 to 1789 due to different regions. What were the different regions we will study in the further chapter. So, as their supply is less, so the British dyer became keener to procure indigo, and at this point, they turned to India to meet their demand. This is a very student, very important thing that कि जो इंग्लिश पीपल थे वो इस इंडिगो को अलग अलग एरिया से मंगवाते थे, ठीक है। जो दूसरे एरिया थे उन्होंने क्या किया, उनको देने से इनकार कर दिया। सो दैट्स व्हाई ब्रिटिश पीपल थे, दे टर्न टुवर्ड्स इंडिया, वो इंडिया की साइड मुड़ गए ताकि उनकी जो नीड्स है वो पूरा हो सके। दैट्स व्हाई मैक्सिमम पीपल they have stress to grow indigo. This was the basic reason. Right, friends? Now you can see the picture of indigo. If you think about indigo, this was the picture. Right, friends? Okay, this is the plant. Now it is the powder, and the second one you can see that it is used for the coloring, and you can say to dye the color also. Right, friends? So now we have another thing that Britain turns to India. अब क्वेश्चन हमारे सामने यह आता है कि वाई जो ब्रिटेन था वो इंडिया की तरफ क्यों मुड़ता है। ओके, नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, द डिमांड ऑफ इंडिगो, इट वाज राइजिंग डे बाय डे इन यूरोप. It was rising day by day in Europe. So that's why the company decided to expand indigo cultivation in India. If we think about Bengal, it was the largest exporter of indigo to Britain also. In 1810, about 95% of indigo, it was imported by Britain from only in Bengal. Bengal, you can say that. केवल बंगाल से ऐसा माना जाता है कि जो 95% इंडिगो जो इंपोर्ट किया था वो ब्रिटेन के द्वारा किया था. And as the indigo trade grew up, many of the commercial agents and many of the company officials, they started to invest in indigo business. क्योंकि ये क्या था, it was a profitable business. So that's why many Englishmen, they settled in India and they became the indigo planters. वो indigo planters बन गए. Even they provide loans to the people, and even they started that indigo cultivators को उन्होंने लोन भी प्रोवाइड करना शुरू कर दिया ताकि जो इंडिगो कल्टीवेशन है इट कैन बी इंक्रीज, उसे इंक्रीज किया जा सके. तो आप देख सकते हो कि इंडिगो कितना बढ़ता जा रहा था. अब वी हैव वन क्वेश्चन हियर दैट हाउ वाज इंडिगो कल्टीवेटेड. अब इंडिगो कल्टीवेट कैसे किया, राइट स्टूडेंट्स? So we have one question, how indigo was cultivated. If we think about indigo, it was cultivated by two systems. The first one, it was Nij, and the second was the Rayoti system. Let's discuss about the feature of it. First of all, concentrate on the Nij. If we think about Nij system, in this system, the planters introduce indigo on the land which was under his control. इस सिस्टम के अंदर जो प्लांटर थे वो केवल उसी एरिया पर के ऊपर प्लांटेशन करते थे जिस एरिया के ऊपर कंट्रोल था. Either he was the owner of that particular land, otherwise he had rented on it. या तो वो रेंट पे ले या वो उसका ओनर हो, उसी के ऊपर जो निज कल्टीवेशन हुआ. And the niche cultivators, they found it difficult to grow indigo as it required a large fertile area which was not easily available in all part of the country. Second thing, most of the land, it was densely populated. That's why this was the basic problem for the niche cultivators. Even the laborers, they were not available sometimes because they were busy in the rice cultivation also, and they were not also interested in growing indigo anymore also. So these were the basic reason जिसकी वजह से जो ये पीपल थे वो इसमें जो निच कल्टीवेशन जो था उसके अंदर ब्रिटिशर्स को प्रॉब्लम फेस करनी पड़ी. Right, students? Now, next thing about the Rayoti system. Under the Rayoti system, the planters, entered into the contract with Ryot, and you can say with the village headmen, and sometimes forcefully they have to do so. And according to that contract, 25% of land, it was exclusively kept for the cultivation of indigo, and loans were provided for its cultivation. मीन्स 25% जो लैंड है वो टोटली इंडिगो के लिए दे दी गई. इस लैंड के ऊपर जो भी आप करोगे ना वो आप इंडिगो उगाओगे और वो आपका रेंट होगा. द प्लांटर्स यूज्ड टू प्रोवाइड द सीड्स आल्सो, ड्रिल टू द फार्मर आल्सो. इवन इन रिटर्न उन्हें क्या करना पड़ेगा, उन्हें केवल प्लांट्स की देखभाल करनी है और जो भी प्रोडक्शन होगी वो किसको देनी है, ब्रिटिशर्स को देनी पड़ेगी. बट सून द Ryot realized that this system was not an easy one. Reason is that because they got trapped in the cycle of loan. It means they were trapping in the debt trap. वो debt trap के अंदर फंसते जा रहे हैं. वो ये सब करते हुए they have just only very meager income. उनकी इनकम जो है वो बहुत ही कम हो चुकी है. So that's why the Ryot people, they realize this thing. And the most important thing, if we think about indigo, it is land, it is fertile consuming also. So the fertility of the land, it is going to be declined. वो लगातार खत्म होती जा रही है. And the land became unfit for the cultivation of the other crop like rice. So that's why people disgrace the crop, this system. As the system of indigo plantation, it became very oppressive. So maximum peasants, they became rebellious. They protest against it. And it became the Indigo Rebellion, a famous Indigo Rebellion. And it was considered the Blue Rebellion. So let's just discuss about the situation of the Blue Rebellion and after it. In March 1859, thousands of the Ryots in Bengal, they refused to grow indigo. As the rebellion spread all over the area, and Ryot refused to pay rents to the planter also, and even they attacked to the indigo factory also. And all the Ryot, they swore that they would no longer take any advance to sow indigo and nor be bullied by the plantation lathiyals. मीन्स उन्होंने सीधी सी शपथ ले ली कि आप आने वाले टाइम में ना तो वो इंडिगो जो प्लांटर्स है उनसे एडवांस में पैसे लेंगे और ना ही उनकी बात मानेंगे. So the government set up the Indigo Commission to inquire the situation, to inquire the indigo plantation system, and it was declared that indigo cultivation was not profitable for the Ryot, so hence they could refuse for producing the indigo in future. इनसे जब हर जगह पर प्रोटेस्ट होने लगा तो गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया, एक कमीशन एस्टैब्लिश कर दिया और उस कमीशन ने पूरी की पूरी चीज की जांच पड़ताल की. देन डिसाइड किया गया कि जो इंडिगो कल्टीवेशन है, इट वाज नॉट प्रॉफिटेबल फॉर द पर्संस, इट वाज नॉट प्रॉफिटेबल फॉर द कल्टीवेटर्स. सो दैट्स व्हाई दे कुड रिफ्यूज टू प्रोड्यूस इंडिगो इन फ्यूचर. राइट स्टूडेंट्स, तो इस प्रकार से ये सिचुएशन क्रिएट हो गई. सो इन दिस वे दिस सिस्टम अगर हम बात करते हैं, ये सिस्टम जो था बंगाल के अंदर बढ़ गया. बट आफ्टर द रिवोल्ट the indigo production, it was collapsed in Bengal also, but the plantation now they shifted the operation towards Bihar. Bengal से ये खत्म हो गया, अब वो बिहार की साइड चले गए. अगर मैं बिहार की बात करता हूँ, there was a Champaran movement which was led by Gandhiji in 1970, and according to this it ended the indigo production in, you can say that, Bihar also. तो चंपारण में भी एक ऐसी मूवमेंट हुई है. यू वुड स्टडी अबाउट द चंपारण मूवमेंट इन द 10th स्टैंडर्ड. राइट स्टूडेंट्स, सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट द ब्लू रिबेलियन एंड यू कैन से इंडिगो रिबेलियन. आई होप स्टूडेंट द concept is clear to all of you. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.